At ease, soldiers. It is time to debrief, isn't it? You're part of the Empire. You extend to every corner of the realm. You're the most devastating military ever assembled. Your colors, red and blue, and white. Except you don't rep an eagle, you rep a serpent. So we're here to ask the question, when did you become the bad guy? Let's start with you. Oh, let's start with they gone.
Yeah, so I chose a little trooper here. There's a Cobra trooper here because he's the nameless, faceless, just trooper as we all are. Kind of when we kind of join up to evil organization like that. To me, when he becomes a bad guy is when he loses that his humanity and he loses that his face, and so that's why they always have those face shields on and things of that nature. That's when they become evil, is when they lose that humanity, and whatever they're doing, it's just for the means of Cobra and those around, and the Cobra troopers around him. So that's who my avatar is today.
Now, being a Viper, is there something to being a foot soldier? Is that where your mindset is at?
Yeah, it's just we're all that machines in the cog, in the cog, and whatever we make out of our service or anything like that is what is at the end of the day when they cut you loose and you're drift off to your life. That's all you were to them. You were that piece of part of that cog, and for me, that's kind of where I'm at right now. Is trying to is just what kind of cog was I a part of? Was it good? Was it bad? Well, and what did it really kind of facilitate for everything about it?
Save those thoughts. We'll get there shortly. Thank you, they gone. And of course, Dustin, who's repping Xandar. Elaborate. How did you become the bad guy?
I've been, for the better part of my adult life, I've continually been trying to understand what exactly defines bad and good. And there's it's pretty black and white when we're younger, the way that we're raised up. But even looking at something like The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, one was good, one was bad, the other one was, nefarious, but they were all pretty much anti-heroes. No one was essentially good in that scenario, but I have always kind of felt myself gravitate towards Xandar, as he is kind of not ever really assessed as anything, if he's recognized at all. And I try to stick to the background and stay out of the way and keep a low profile.
I wouldn't know that by your shadowy frame, and I don't know if I caught all that, but it sounded like you said you were a fan of Tuco. Cheers, man. Let's go. Oh, actually, I have to give my villain origin. Evil is basic to most. It's fragile ego, but I never wanted any of it. But sometimes you get thrust right into the middle of it, don't you? I began to see that everything I loved and lived was a lie. I questioned everything. I began to think I was the smartest man alive until I met Cobra Commander. They call me Cujo, and I am one of your three hosts for the evening. Here we are on a Veterans Day live stream. Let's bounce back to you, They Gone. You're a live streamer now, and we'll get to it, but please, so I don't fumble the bag, tell me about your service and if you're active.
Yeah, so I'm not active anymore. I've been out of the military for quite some time now. I did 4 years in the regular army. I was a cook with first Group Special Forces. Deployed to Afghanistan. I joined in 2003. Went to Afghanistan 2004 to 2005. and that was a rough deployment. I finished that up. I was married, so I was going to do my 4 years and get out. But then in 2008, after I finished my degree, I couldn't find a job, so I joined the National Guard for another 3 years. And then I helped. So in that position, I worked for the state surgeon's office doing what they call injury claims or LODs for soldiers who get hurt, and make sure the National Guard was taken care of them. So that way, it felt like I was still serving folks and still giving back to the military.
Fair to say the Army is your life, my man.
Yeah.
To talk about your live stream, is that directed at veterans? What is it?
Well, it's not. It's kind of. I do my live stream every Thursday. I call it the Thursday night safety briefing, because in the military, for a long weekend or every Friday, we do this little tiny safety briefing, just kind of remind folks to do the right thing out there. No drinking and driving, all that kind of stuff. It's for everybody, but I do a lot of mental health because I do my show for my own mental health. I talk about things that are on my mind and things that I'm still struggling with my PTSD and some of the things that I still kind of go through. This last stream that I did was actually my story. So you can, if you really want to know it, it's my completely of my history, of my history in the military and what kind of caused me to have some of the issues that I have. And if you guys want to check it out, you can. If you want to sub, you can, but that's not what I asked for. And then I usually do a little theme of the month. I talk about that theme, and then I go to just the normal GI Joe toy sharing and just different topics in the community and things of that nature.
Nicely done, brother. And we did have a guest for a second, so let's go next. Dustin, I know you turn up in the tweets with pictures. Just real quick, is storytelling a big part of your framing? Just elaborate on that real quick.
I do have a lot of stories to tell. I am currently working on a couple of new videos for YouTube, but a lot of it is just like inspiration strikes, and I grab, try to set up a little thing with what I have at hand, and mostly for my amusement. I like to make stupid, funny little, take pictures, and if I can make someone laugh, that's pretty much what I'm in it for.
Laugh and inspire creativity. Don't
Hey,
sell
Dustin.
yourself short.
Dustin, yeah, don't sell yourself short. Your stop motion stuff is great, and a lot of the pictures you take are great. They make me laugh, and I enjoy a lot of your stuff. So I wouldn't sell yourself short, man.
Well, that's all right. He's good at other things. Yeah. Illuminate your military service, real quick, please, sir.
I went in 95, did 3 years, got out. I went back in 2001, did another 3 years, got out. Only made E4 specialist, but I did do 2 tours overseas as a civilian contractor working with the military in Iraq, in Tikrit and Mosul, and I think, yeah, the last one was finished up in 2011 when everything in Iraq was shutting down. But since then, I've been working on construction equipment. My daughter has since gone into the military, has made E6 in 5 years, and nice. Is currently looking at getting out right now. So,
well, of course, respect to her, because she's going to watch us, obviously.
Yeah.
It does happen to be Veterans Day. I'm going to stick with you, Dustin. Your thoughts at this juncture? I guess you can take into account where our country is, etc. But what finds your memory on this particular day, 11/11?
Generally just think about the good friends that I met while I was in the military, the interesting connections I made. It was always interesting to me being in the military, because no matter where you come from, you're suddenly thrown into this, mixing pot of people from all different types of backgrounds. And, a lot of people don't realize that not everyone serving in the U.S. military are U.S. citizens. So I served alongside a bunch of people that, had their green cards from Ireland, from Haiti, from Mexico. Uh, it's and on top of that, you just get to go around. I had a couple small deployments here and there, interesting stuff. You don't always get deployed to do training or go to war. Sometimes you're doing humanitarian aid. I ended up deploying to the south border, South Mexico, to improve roads for the border patrol. Just because the first unit I was in was an engineer battalion, so we were always doing all kinds of projects like that. But yeah, mostly I've tried to keep in touch with some of the people that I served with, but over time, a lot of those connections break for whatever reason. But I still have a few people I talk to. So
Well, someday one of those folks might look you up on YouTube and will say, "Hey, we're right here." um, they gone, Mr. Cobra Trooper.
Yeah.
It's 11:11, my friend.
Yeah. So I guess what's on my mind is my little town does one of the largest Veterans Day parades west of the Mississippi. And what it's got me thinking today is like, what does that really mean for me? What does it really mean for me to be a veteran? And you go through those kind of roles like, well, am I really a veteran? Am I really a combat veteran? You have that lot of doubt and what that really means, and then also what it means to try to put all that kind of stuff behind you and move on with your life. Because the military was a big part of my life for so long, and going through the things that I've gone through, and experience, some of that. So obviously you have the good times, you have the bad times, but I just like, how do I put it behind me? How do I move forward with it? And then what's that? And what's that's going to take me for being able to do? And I was thinking today, it's just going to be a lifelong process. I'm going to have to deal with the things that I'm going to deal with, and the memories I'm going to have to remember, and things of that nature. And that's kind of where I am at right now. Is on my mind, and then thinking about all those other guys who go through that too. And just to, one of my kind of messages is like, you're not alone out there. Anybody who's out there who's struggling with anything, you're not alone. We've all gone through it. All of us veterans have gone through it, even civilians and stuff. We've all gone through the suck. We've all gone through it together. It might just be colored differently. It might just look a little bit different, but just understand that, we aren't our failures that happen. You can't hold on to those things. Like I always say, the military teaches you not to give up, not to give in, and keep driving on, drink water, drive on, and all that stuff. But it doesn't teach you what happens when it's over. It doesn't teach you what happens when there isn't a possibility of winning, when you have to fail, when you have to face that failure, not a failure necessarily, but when things go sideways. And then that's kind of what I'm still working on after all these years. And so that's where my mindset is just kind of on healing, which I know that's kind of the next topic we're going to next, but that's kind of where I'm at.
Perhaps a conversation for another day. I do wonder how veterans unpack, because as you kind of step away, you get to look at things. Let me dust that question real quick. For me, it's artist versus the machine. It's the individual versus, I guess, the same. For you guys, soldiers aren't given all the information. When you look back, let's say history looks back, and guess what? We were the baddies, guys. As a person who walks into a machine, who gains your understanding through the course of not just your service, but your life, it's easy for one generation to judge the last. As retired Cobras, what would you speak to the next generation? What's one tip that can heal them? You know what? Don't all jump at once. Let's go with they gone.
Just keep in mind, like I said, you're not those failures. At the end of the day, when your military career is over and things of that nature, you have to remember those positive things that got you there. You have to remember, okay, I was an elite soldier. I was an airborne soldier. I was a soldier to begin with. Less than 1% or 2% of the entire population of the United States joins the military. You know, to be proud in the fact that you rose your hand and you said, yes, I will go. But all those things that happened to you or didn't, you know, or things that didn't go right, that's not your fault. You know, there's going to be people above you that are making decisions, things that might be right or wrong. But all you can do is be confident in the fact that you did what you were supposed to do and you did your duty when you were assigned it. You know, that's what I would say. And just keep in mind, you know, just keep that sense of who you are still and not get lost in like, okay, well, I'm just this trauma. You know, I'm more than that. And that's what I would say. You're more than what happened to you. You know, you're built up of things, and what happened to you is what happened to you, and you're gonna be okay. You know, that's what I would say.
Dustin, how do we heal, my man?
It's difficult when you stand back and look at the way that things are handled by, you know, the people making the calls. And even as a civilian, like, so much of that is out of your hand. Like, I mean, I like we just went, you know, we just had another election come and go, and that is, you know, the extent of what most people do in contributing to, you know, trying to steer the country in the direction they want to see it go. But in the military and outside, it always comes down to, you know, you helping who is right there next to you, you know, looking out for who's immediately within your vicinity, and just, you know, don't let anyone fall behind. You know, we all pretty much struggle with so much, and it's not easy to, you know, try and keep things, you know, looking up. But, you know, when you have support around you, it, you know, you've had that before, you know what that feels like. It helps you get through, and you don't know what the person next to you is going through, so why not? I mean, it really doesn't require a lot of effort. You know, even just to try to make someone laugh or someone smile, you know, can just, you know, change the dynamic of someone's day.
Well, we've seen a couple of your tweets tonight. They've definitely brought a smile to my face. Gentlemen, it's Veterans Day. I salute you. I thank you for putting yourself into the fray and learning hard lessons that you couldn't have learned otherwise. Am I right?
Yeah.
Thank you again. You've been not only friends and viewers, but you've been supporters of me as independent media, as somebody that can talk about Cobra without getting my hair singed all the time. But anyway, to everybody out there, no, you don't have to be the best live streamer. You just have to find the folks. And Vagon, we got his YouTube channel and his last episode, which was his origin story.
Yeah.
And Dustin, you're always welcome, my man. Thank you guys. And hey, we just got it under 20 minutes. We still got it. 11:11. I guess we were the baddies. Cheers, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.